Hey guys, what's up? I'm SportyJordy from the UDDA team, and I'm here with the lovely Sylvana Kelleher from the Liberty Line blog website. How are you doing this evening?
Oh, I'm so perfect. How are you, Jordy?
Hanging in there. We had a tough week of football this weekend, so I literally think this weekend took years off of my life. If you guys didn't get to join last week, there are still plenty of contests this week, so make sure to get in and join our Gridiron Games. Completely free to enter. So you enter for free. No, you're not risking anything for the chance to win real cash. So a lot of fun stuff. Now tell us, we do these Women in Wednesday segments to highlight all of the wonderful women in the sports industry. Tell us a little bit about your background, what you're working on now, and kind of how you got into the sports industry.
Okay, so I'm a student at Temple University. I'm a junior. I would say that I got started in sports from a young age. I was surrounded by sports. I had like Eagles season tickets. Always went to, Phillies games, was there for the World Series parade. I grew up with a lot of boys who played football. So my weekends revolved around, like Pee Wee football Saturday, Eagles game Sunday. So I didn't really see it as a career until I got to college, and I was originally going to be a nurse. And I didn't get into the nursing program, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. My mom was like, why don't you do like sports? Like, why don't you do a communications major and get into sports? And I was like, I never really thought about that because I always liked sports and always knew what I was talking about. So freshman year, my second semester, I changed to like a sports track. And then I pretty much right now, I am in the Liberty Line. I write for them. And me and Jordan and our friend Brielle do a podcast on Tuesdays at 7. And for school, I do WHIP radio talking sports. And I also am in Temple Update, which is a TUTV show. And that's great. And I am the sports director for Temple Update. So
You
that was a
have
mouthful.
Yeah, you have a lot going on your plate, but it's super impressive, especially since you got into it so young while you're still in college, and to have this kind of impressive resume. Do you have any plans? Do you know what direction you want to take once you do graduate? Do you want to stay within the sports industry?
I do want to stay within the sports industry. I am on a production track and taking classes in the producing world just to have that experience, as a backup, because the sports industry is super competitive. And I know that I'm probably going to have to get a job somewhere pretty random after school. So just having two things under my belt to kind of make me feel better about my future.
Definitely. No, if it makes you feel better, I graduated undergrad in 2020. And it was so funny because my professors would say it often. They were like, this is such a great industry to go into because there's so many different directions you can go. And they were like, the one thing is, they were like, if the economy crashes, if this happens, there's always going to be sports. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And then, of course, I graduate 2020 in the middle of a global pandemic where sports completely shut down for the first time ever. So it's a scary world to get into, especially when like sports itself don't even exist, but you're doing everything right now. Do you have any advice that you would give to either high schoolers or girls growing up that are interested in getting into the sports industry themselves?
I would say that if you're nervous about how boys may perceive you entering a male-dominant kind of industry, to not be nervous. I think that those boys that I've been surrounded by in, the sports industry have actually been the most supportive out of all the people. I think that they're extremely understanding. Never be afraid to not know. If you're not really knowledgeable in one sport, there's always ways to learn.
Yes.
You can always learn anything that you want to. Just always, set the time for yourself, and you can really achieve anything that you want to.
I love that. Yeah, no, I honestly, when I came into this industry, especially like when I graduated and started working, everyone was like, it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
I have honestly felt a lot of respect, which I think shows the way the industry's kind of changing, and it's not really as much of a thing anymore. Like it's just the way it is. Like women work in sports, and I think that's the direction that I want to go more in. Like I never like to advocate for myself as like being a woman, just because I kind of have the mindset where it's like this, for some reason, growing, I was never athletic. I just fell in love with football, and that's kind of led me into talking all other sports as well. But it was just kind of like, this is something I enjoyed and this is my passion. So I just want to talk about it, not because I'm a woman, just because this is what I like. And I think the fact that now, especially that guys are more open with it, it's not as judgmental. I think it just shows that we're moving in that right direction, which is fantastic.
Yeah, finally.
Yes, it took long enough, but I mean, I still get comments here and there.
Yeah, just rarely though. I feel
really?
like even, yeah, it usually starts out from, I feel like almost boys, and they're always like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. But it'll always be people that are like not in the industry. Like they also don't really know what they're talking about.
Yes. No, I feel like the I get more hate for being a Philadelphia Eagles fan than I do for being a woman in sports.
Yeah.
Like, no one ever says anything about me being female, but they're like, oh, Philly fan, red flag.
Exactly. Like, it's never about being a girl.
No, but it's like, oh, you're South Jersey girl.
Yeah.
Which I know
South
we both
Jersey
are.
part really just messes it all up.
Yes. All right. Well, in regards to football from this past weekend, I want to get some of your thoughts. We saw Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers get eliminated in the divisional round. This is the first time in 12 seasons that a conference championship will not have either of these guys. And now we've kind of seen like the younger, like the Joe Burrows, the Josh Allens, the Patrick Mahomes kind of come in, and they're kind of taking this narrative with them. What are your thoughts headed into the conference championships?
First of all, it's just shocking. Every game was so close, so entertaining. First of all, it was even almost perfect games for quarterbacks. It was almost other outside elements that really just took away the games. It was honestly probably the best weekend of football that we've had in forever.
Yeah.
And
I was literally sitting every single game. I was like, it can't get better than this. And then it just kept getting better and better.
It really was the battle of the quarterbacks, though. These were all extremely impressive quarterbacks, and it was all shocking. Everyone that I really wanted to win didn't win.
Yeah.
Except for the Bengals.
No, they were the only Rams, Bucks. I was kind of like down the middle. I couldn't just it's so funny. There are some videos of me where I'm like, yeah, I'm taking Bucks money line. And then there are some where it's like, no, I'm hardcore Rams. Like I just could not make up my mind. And then 49ers Packers. I mean,
that threw me for a loop.
Yes, I didn't even think the 49ers, I thought it was going to be a good game, but I was like, Packers are going to win by 10, like no questions asked. So that just genuinely shocked me. And then, yeah, the Bills-Chiefs game was
heartbreaking.
It was heartbreaking. It was the most impressive football game I've ever seen, though, but heartbreaking. Do you think, especially this conversation's it's been talked about a lot. And it's ironic because when the league actually went to vote to kind of change the overtime rules, the Bills were one of the teams that voted against it. And then they were just on the side of losing because Josh Allen did not get the ball first. So what are your thoughts about overtime rules moving forward? Do you like the way it is? I understand defenses just have to step up if you don't win the coin toss, or do you think we should move more towards college rules where it's kind of like everyone gets a chance and then it's sudden death? Where's your head at with it?
I kind of like the overtime rules. I am very split down the middle, but I do agree that the defense truly needs to step up. That's how you win football games. And I think that that's just apparent in any quarter of the game. So it should be the same throughout, overtime. And I just don't, it makes sense. It does make sense. It really shortens down the timing of things, which is also a big issue, especially, if you saw how, what was the game right before the
Rams Bucks.
Yeah, Rams Bucks. How if that almost went into overtime, it would have messed everything up.
Yes. No, I was sitting there. The game literally ended. It was like 6:27. I remember looking down at my phone and I was like, how do I only have 3 minutes to recover before Chiefs Bills?
Yeah.
And that game, it could have easily gone into overtime. And then what happens?
Yeah. So, I mean, I never really saw an issue with the overtime rules until the other night.
Yeah.
But I'm split down the middle because Josh Allen pretty much had a perfect game and did everything he could and didn't even have a shot to come back.
Yes. And I think I understand the argument. I've been hearing it all week where it's like, it's not that the Bills didn't have a chance. Like at this point, you're like the game of NFL, you have offense and defense, and both of those guys need to step up. And in this case, the Bills had a chance. They had their chance on defense, and that was the #1 defense in the league for a majority of this season. And they just did not, so they did nothing to either get a stop, to get Josh Allen back out there, even to hold the Chiefs to a field goal, to give offense a chance. It was an unfortunate situation. But yeah, if you're leaving Travis Kelce open, I don't really know what you expect to happen.
The whole defense was kind of an issue the entire game.
Yes.
So I don't know. I say keep it as is.
They 13 seconds left in regulation.
Yeah.
They still couldn't hold them, and that's what led to overtime. So it's been interesting. It's been an interesting weekend, and it's going to get even more interesting. This weekend, conference championships. Yeah. Now, I think I know where your head's at, but I want to talk. So we have 49ers Rams, which is going to be exciting just because it's divisional. But I think the game that most people are going to be focused on is Bengals Chiefs. Now, are you all for Patrick Mahomes doing what Patrick Mahomes does and Chiefs go to the Super Bowl? Or are you ready for an underdog to come in and kind of change the narrative a little bit? Because the Chiefs are turning into a Patriots dynasty where we just see them in the Super Bowl, whether they win or not, they're just there. So where are your thoughts with this one?
Obviously, I want the underdog. I don't want this dynasty type, the same team's going to the Super Bowl, every year, every couple of years. No one wants that. Does anyone really even want that? No one wants that. Everyone wants, an underdog team, a team that hasn't won a Super Bowl forever.
They won their first Bowl. They won their first playoff game in 31 years. Can you imagine if in that same year they go to win like that? Bengals fans and that's a good fan base.
Yes,
they never wavered. So they deserve it. I want it so bad for them. And Joe Burrow is just a freaking king.
He's just an extremely impressive person, and he's also just a funny person. He's so young. Like, how cool would that be? That would be amazing.
Incredible. No, I'm so here for it. And then Rams 49ers, at this point, I think Rams deserve it more with how they've been playing it. But at this point, I'm kind of on board for an underdog Super Bowl because, like, who would have thought when the season started, Bengals 49ers would even be a question? Like, what?
Especially when Trey Lance was in for the 49ers and just Jimmy G's future was kind of like iffy on the season.
Yeah, 49ers literally traded up in the draft to get a new quarterback that they've barely been able to utilize because their old quarterback came in and stepped up big time. And yeah, now there's a chance for them to be Super Bowl bound. So
I kind of want the Rams to win for Matthew Stafford, though. Just all those years on the Lions.
No, I
always felt bad for him.
Yes. Did you see the video on TikTok where it was a diehard Lions fan wearing his Matthew Stafford Lions jersey, like screaming?
Aww.
And I was like, the fact that like this Lions fan base has continued to love him, because it really, you can make the argument part of it was him. It really wasn't his fault. Like the Lions organization has been a hot mess for a very long time. So I think now that he's finally in the right system with Sean McVay, it is I will not be upset at all if Rams get, especially how weird is it? Last year was the first time we ever saw a team have home field advantage in the Super Bowl. If the Rams can do it this year, that's 2 years back to back. That
would be insane. That would be insane.
Like, it would be a home game for the Rams in the Super Bowl, which is unreal in that beautiful stadium. So it's insane. But I think you were kind of in the same boat with me. Were you thinking Bills Packers for Super Bowl? Where was your head?
I was 100% thinking the Bills.
Yeah.
100% was thinking the Bills. That's about as far as I got. But I was 100% thinking the Bills. I was actually heartbroken. I'm not a Bills fan whatsoever, but That was just straight painful.
Yeah. No, that one and the Packers. And just because I just like I'm a huge Aaron Rodgers fan. Though the end of those two games really crushed me.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers is just a regular season champion, and that's pretty much it.
Yes. No, it's literally, we posted a TikTok on our UDDA account today. We were like, will Aaron Rodgers ever get another ring? Because at this point, it's really not looking like it. I mean, unless he pulls a Brady and goes to a team in this offseason that's complete.
Which I think he does.
I think he has to. But at this point, like, I honestly, and it took me a couple days to admit this, like, he could have won that game for them. Like, how are you Aaron Rodgers at home in Lambeau and you can only put up 10 points?
Yeah. It's unheard of.
It's bad. It was just
it's been a weird whole playoff all the playoff games have just been weird and just completely out of left field. No one predicted this for any of the playoff games at all.
No, and I knew it was going to be a good playoff year because there was so much up in the air, but I really wasn't expecting the roller coaster that we got. And I have kind of liked it, though. As much as it hurt to see the teams that I wanted to move on get knocked out early, it has been exciting. Like, we can't even knock that. So, and it's still just getting started. For those who are listening who are new to UDDA, we have a bunch of contests available this weekend if you join our Gridiron Games. So basically, you can go in. I'm trying to pull everything up now so I can show everything that's available. So basically, we just have a straight up NFL pick six. We have a Chiefs, Bengals, 49ers, and Rams pick six. So you can join all those individually, make your picks for those games, completely free to enter, and win some real money. If you get your picks right, you earn $50 in cash. So really can't complain there. No risk for a nice little reward. Are you going to be placing any bets this weekend? Is there anything you are feeling very confident about?
Well, first of all, I can't gamble.
Oh, frick, I forgot. So UDDA is the perfect situation for you. Because,
really?
Yes, just because. So UDDA, you don't have to, you can be 18 or up, just because we don't want to make these young kids degenerates and get them addicted to the sports.
Yeah.
18 and up, join the app, play. Our sports book's currently down. We're doing some renovations, but we do have all the contests. So you can go in and make, like, as if you were sports betting for an online sports book, go in and make your picks to win some real cash. And you know what you're talking about. So you could win. Beat me.
This would be my first time ever doing so. I might have to do it just to test my luck.
Yes, we can join the Bengals pick six because that's when we want to move on to the Super Bowl.
Yes. Exactly.
Perfect. All right. Well, tell everyone your social medias, where they can find you, promote the Liberty Line so everyone can go check out your articles.
Okay. So I'm Sylvana Kelleher. Once again, my Twitter is Sylvana Kell, which is SYLVANAKELL. If you just search that up on Instagram, you'll find Sylvana Kelleher. It'll come up. I'm pretty much, it's like one of a kind. It's pretty unique. You'll come up. And then you can follow the Liberty Line on Twitter at Liberty Line PHL, and I believe Liberty Line on Instagram, or the LibertyLine. You can also see on thelibertyline.com. So
awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us on our.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We'd love to promote the best of the best in the sports industry. You are obviously one of them. If you guys aren't already, make sure to subscribe to our UDDA YouTube channel so you can keep up with all the podcasts and fun video stuff that we have. Make sure to find us on all social medias at UDDA Winner. And of course, go and download the UDDA app. Once you do register for your new account, you'll immediately be rewarded with 10,000 UDDA bucks. And make sure to join the Gridiron Games contest for all of the NFL playoffs this weekend. Earn some real cash. That's something everyone wants it.
Exactly.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will be back in another week. If you guys know someone that would be a good fit for the Women in Sports Wednesday podcast, don't be shy. Shoot us a DM on Instagram. We'll see you soon. Hopefully this weekend of playoffs is just as good as weekends.
Let's go Bengals.
Let's go Bengals. Bye.
Bye.